We're gonna do another ad.
Every time I
Just
get
holds it
recorded,
with
I'm always
the-
gonna.
with the
I
label
gotta start getting better at actually making those clips.
Ay, Mario.
Who's gonna sponsor us first?
Damn, where'd you get ultras from?
It's the last ultra.
the Raúl. Bro.
Yeah, I was saving it for him, but
Damn.
tiene chorro.
Oh.
That's what happened.
Why you gotta tell the whole world? Well, guys, now you know why Raúl's not here today.
That happens. Ready?
Ready.
All right. What's up, guys? My name is Mario.
My name's Jesus.
My name's Pao.
Welcome back to another Vive con Huevos podcast.
Woo!
We got another special episode. It's been like five.
Five.
It's been like five. It's been like 5 episodes where it's just us.
Yes, it has been. You
But
guys
I
are
did
probably
promise you
tired of
guys
us.
it's going to be quality content, quality people on the podcast.
Yes.
I also did say that we're going to start focusing on people within the beautiful city of San Diego
in the community.
and the community. Same thing ish, right?
Yeah. I said within
Sorry,
the
I had a
community.
burp. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But with us today, guys, I don't want to mess this up because he's going to slap the shit out of me.
Literally.
Literally. We got born and bred in San Diego, Power Slap middleweight champion.
Middleweight. I'm
Yeah,
number one
number
right now.
one.
So there's a champion and then me.
He's the champion.
He's the champion. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
he's
you.
the champion.
I am the champion.
Azael, el Perro Rodriguez in the house.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for
Welcome.
joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, super random how we met.
Yeah.
Mario was being a chismoso.
I was being a straight up
being a
chismoso.
comadre.
Straight up chismoso. Talk about perfect place, right time.
Yeah.
I just quit my job and I decided to go to the gym.
Yeah. As you guys know, he's on a weight loss challenge.
This is not Bezawa.
Literal.
Literal 95 carbs, so calories. So
Calories.
don't give me shit, guys.
You're good. You're good.
I was like, oh, fuck it. Quit my job. Todo tranquilo.
Quit your job 2024.
Yeah. You're next, baby.
Damn, that's right. That's the energy we need in this house.
And I was like, fuck it. Let's just go to the gym. Let's start off straight. Let's start off strong. We had just gotten back from Italy. I was feeling a little bloated. And I started doing some cardio. I did some weights. And I wasn't feeling it. Like, you know, when you're at the gym and you're just like I'm pumping weights or you're on the treadmill, but you're no le estás echando ganas. You know, you're just kind of just going through the motions.
You're
right?
just there just to cross it off your list.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Like, I just want to sweat. So I was like, I'm just going to go to the sauna for 30 minutes.
Damn.
And I did. I was in the sauna for like 30 minutes. But like halfway through my sauna sesh, I was about to quit. And Azael and one of his homeboys goes in. And I don't know if it's a me thing or if it's a guy thing. But like when someone comes into the sauna, you don't want to look like a bitch. So you're just
So
like,
you
I'm just
stay in
going to
there
stay here
until
for
they
another
leave.
like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And
happens
you're
to me
just,
all the
even though
time.
you're fucking dying, you just
Yeah.
want to get the hell out of there. But you're like, no, I don't want to look like a
That's
bitch.
definitely a guy thing. I
Hey, you
can
look
confirm.
really tough in the sauna though.
Yeah, you look tough as hell. Sorry, let me put this on D&D, guys.
Your plan worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did look
And I
tough.
was like, and then Azael takes off his fucking shirt, and I was like, nah, fuck this guy. And then I see him like scrolling through his phone, but like most of us are like, I'm listening to a podcast. Most people are on their phones, which honestly, I have no idea how people do because my phone gets
Hot. Yeah.
as-
I don't
I don't
take
even
mine
wanna
in there.
touch
Even
it.
like the headsets or the
See, todo.
earpieces.
Like sometimes I do take off my headphones.
And you take your phone with you or you leave it outside like on the little
No,
counter?
I take it in my man purse.
Oh, and that helps?
Yeah, and I just keep it in there. Usually I'm listening to podcasts in there anyway, so I really don't touch it.
Yeah.
And I keep it in there. I wrap it, and sometimes I take off my shirt and then I wrap it even more, and then I just put it on the side. But anyways, Azael is like scrolling through his phone, and he's about to post a post. And I see like through my rearview mirrors that he's like getting slapped or like someone's slapping somebody.
chismoso no vino
Yeah,
al
and I was
sauna.
like, interesting. I was like, this isn't porn, but you know, like, what is this guy watching? Like,
Now you guys know if you're ever around Mario, you gotta be careful what you're doing on your phone.
I just looking out for guests, you know, important people in San Diego.
Talk about a whole other level of coming up with guests.
For real. And Azael turns over to his friend. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna post this," and I was like, "Okay, it seems important." And then I take off my headphones and I'm like actually vividly listening to the video. And then it's a fight that Azael is
No
in
one's
the
safe.
house. Yeah. He's like, you want to slap me? Right here, however it goes. And I was like, oh shit, I'm like really into this now. I'm like, what the? I mean, I'm in the sauna now 40 minutes, dude. Fully invested in this.
Pena ajena. Qué chismoso.
I'm like, hella sweating. You guys are not? No. But so finally I'm like, look, I'm like listening.
Yeah, I see that.
Finally, I like take off my headphones and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna ask this guy what he does. And I'm like, hey bro, do you fight?
Yeah, he literally did. That's how he said it.
And then he just looks over and he's like, no, I power slap. And I was like, whoa, what the
Bitch.
fuck? Yeah. I was intrigued at this point because I had seen power slapping before on my TikTok. Funny enough, last week Jesus talked about super randomly talked about power slapping.
Yeah,
Did
like
you?
it just came up like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that conversation came up first or right at that moment, but then like he sent us that like, hey, I met this guy, and then he told us about you, and he's like, he wants to be on the pod. I was like, what are the chances that I just started watching TikToks on this, and that it suddenly you come out of nowhere? But
Yeah, so
You
two-
manifested it, Jesus.
So like 2 weeks ago, we recorded 2 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago, we recorded 2 weeks ago. That was Tongue Twister.
¿Qué dijo?
And we were talking about like if we could go pro in a sport, like what would it be? Jesus randomly said power slapping.
yeah, 'cause it was coming up in my
Yeah.
feed. I was like, yeah, that'd be
And like a few days later, I meet you. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
it's true.
They're
It's coming
accepting
back.
applications right now. So if you wanna, Jesus, if you wanna join it, or who's the
I
one
don't
that said
know.
it?
Jesus,
yeah.
Yeah.
If you wanna join it,
Oh, they look
Sport of the year,
intense.
apparently.
put my name as a reference.
And it's not the first time I see it. The first time I saw it is in, have you ever heard of chess boxing?
No.
It's where you box for a round and then you play a round of chess, a minute of chess.
Yes.
And then you go back to boxing around.
Oh,
And then you
wow.
go back to a minute of chess. And
What
there was
the?
one of those where they had slap boxing with chess. So they would do a minute of
crazy.
chess, slap each other, and then go back to chess.
Imagine like the adrenaline going through your body because you just got fucking slapped, and then you gotta go concentrate and
No.
play chess. Like what?
And
I
you're
would not. I
timed.
would not
Yeah.
sign up for that.
No,
I
you're
would
like,
not
sounds
sign
terrible.
up for that. Yeah.
It's intense and like it's
That's
like
crazy.
it's one of those where like you either have to win in one or the other. You have to either, if you know like, oh, I'm not gonna beat this guy in boxing, I better beat him in chess. You know, clean him out. But
That-
or
smarter
vice
than you.
versa, right?
I don't even know how to play chess.
That takes a lot of self control for sure.
It is.
Do you know how to
have
play chess?
like-
I know how to play chess, but I'm not good at it. I know the rules.
well, you'd win the slapping part, I guess.
Yeah,
so
as
you're-
long as you beat him in the slapping part, like you would avoid the chess part, you know.
Yeah.
So things like that. So
I probably knocked you out before you
yeah,
beat me at
that's
chess.
the whole point, right? So because you don't want to get to that point where they beat you in chess, right?
That's
So
great. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
it's fun. I got lost in
Next
that
thing
for
you know,
hours.
Azael is just playing chess.
Never.
So Jesus, you said you wanted to become a professional slapper then?
I mean, we're just.
I don't know. I think
it
there
was
needs to be a match
all-
off.
Nah,
I think
I don't know.
You know what would be really good for
You
some
know what would
clicks?
be amazing for the views?
If I were a guinea
you-
pig.
If you really want to help out the podcast, I'm not saying
Or do you think
They-
I already started drinking a lot? Fucking numb the pain.
It's gonna happen.
I'll give you a shot. I got a bottle of tequila for my birthday. I'll give you. You can have it.
No, I've seen those videos. Those, and I've seen yours too. But like, I just the way like, there's no way I can stand up after one of those slaps. I just know for a fact, because especially I'm not trained for it. And I'm not gonna expect it, and I haven't even been slapped in so long by a girl or a guy, so I don't know what's coming. So
Oh yeah, it's one of
I
those.
definitely won't be ready for that.
yeah, no, it's
So go ahead.
okay.
Oh, I was gonna say like for the listeners that maybe they don't know what this is. Like, should we have them explain?
Oh yeah,
like,
I was gonna bring that back.
okay.
Yeah, I was gonna wrap it back into
Okay. Well, I thought this
Azael.
was-
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, yeah. After my low key stalking experience in the sauna.
I know.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But you know what? By chance,
But now he's here.
there
and
was a reason I was not into the workout that day.
At least he was cool about it and not like fucking.
Like, what are you
weird,
looking
like,
at?
Yeah, he's like, why the fuck you looking at my phone? And it's funny. So like the way we're sitting, is kind of the way that we were in the sauna, but
Yeah.
you're Azael, and Azael is his homie.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was like, he's like in
so
my
you could just go
peripherals,
like
yeah.
that, yeah.
But his homie was looking at me the whole time, and he's like,
Being a chismoso.
yeah, being a chismoso. So like every time I would look down, like I would look up, and we would lock eyes, and I'd be like, fuck.
Hey, he's my nephew, and he's a chismoso too. So he was chismoso about what you were chismeando about.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But we ended up clicking in the sauna. I mean, and then we ended up talking, and I was in the sauna for like a solid 40 minutes. Because when you came in was like 15 minutes during the sesh. And then I think I was in there like maybe like 5-6 minutes until I actually asked you. And then we started talking for like another like solid 10 minutes.
El Mario agregándose tiempo.
I'm just saying
Sauna
I lost
sesh.
all my weight there.
Okay.
But yeah, for the people who don't know, Azael, you want to give like a little brief introduction?
Well, I'm from South San Diego, right by the border, literally like 5 minutes from it. But I've been all around San Diego, so La Jolla, Chula Vista, National City, everywhere. But just about Power Slap, we just slap the shit out of each other and see who the best person is in the competition, who can take the hit harder. For me, I think whoever can take the hit and continue delivering some solid hits makes it a good power slapper. Because you got guys that are good slappers, but they can't take a hit, or vice versa. They could take a hit, but they can't slap. So I think this sport it's centered around who can take a hit first of all, and who can deliver a powerful one back. But yeah, just joined Power Slap about a year ago, and now I'm number 1 in my division.
Nice.
And I'm continuing with growing as a slapper. You would think that as a slapper, it's like just a slap, but no, there's a lot that goes into a power slap, like a powerful slap. There's a lot that goes into receiving the slap and just being an overall good slapper. That's pretty much
What are some of those things that like go into it?
into becoming a good slapper.
And receiving it, I guess.
What it takes to becoming a good slapper and learning like the technique and stuff like that. It's I think just becoming a strong individual, not like physically being able to lift like all the weights in the world, but just being an overall having strength in all the body parts in your body. I think what has also helped me with receiving a slap was just growing up fighting in the streets, getting hit with skateboards in the face, like just taking hits just left and right. I think that's the reason when Dana White posted it, I was like, I can do this, but I didn't think I was gonna get called. But once I got called and I got slapped, it was like a wake up call, and I was like, okay, now I need to know I was able to receive all those slaps and didn't go down or anything, and then leaving the power slap house, like kind of thinking about all the slaps that I received during the house, just like what can I do different, and just building my strength a little bit more. Your neck, you want to be able to build your neck a little bit more, but there's also guys that have some strong necks and they still can't take a hit. So it's also mental. Just
Yeah, I can imagine.
thinking about you receiving the hit, you're gonna eat it. If you have some sort of doubt before you get hit, you're probably gonna get knocked out. I got knocked out once, and I think it was because I was very doubtful, and I wasn't ready. I was just there standing. I think I was overthinking the first slap that I threw, and it was a weak slap, and it just brought so much doubt. I was like, how did that guy eat that slap so easily, or how did I mess up that slap? And you could just see it in my face. I was just there, just ready to take the hit, but I wasn't ready mentally, and I got knocked out. But after that, it hasn't happened, and it's the mental aspect of it too. But
The mental part is like crazy to me. So like that, at the day after we met at the gym, you had told me to go see the series on YouTube.
Wait, so you didn't say that he's been on a show?
Oh yeah. we're gonna go back to it, but I just wanted to
Okay.
touch on this point real quick. Is that there's certain rules to power slap. Like I like invested in myself after you told me. Like I was on YouTube and I was like searching like different stuff.
Mario's a power slapper.
Yeah, I'm basically a coach now, bro.
yeah.
Come here, Jesus.
Make this real for me. But there's a rule that you can't flinch.
Oh.
Yeah, so you have to like stand there and like basically like everyone is just like a stare off. And correct me if I'm wrong, you have to tell the ref, like let's say you're slapping me, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna hit him with my right hand and I'm gonna go like basically on the count of 3. So like you measure your like length and then you're like 1, 2, and on the third, ya le metes el putazo.
And what happens if you don't do it on the third? Are you
Oh, I don't know. That's
disqualified?
an Azael.
You get a foul.
You have to do it when you say.
Yeah, so there has been guys that have said 3 and they go on 2. And a lot of it too, they're like dazed and they probably like no saben dónde están en ese momento or whatever. But yeah, you get a point off. So technically that round you lost it for sure. So you gotta either knock out that opponent now for the third round or you're gonna lose by those points because of that.
Yeah, but it was like super crazy when I found out that you couldn't flinch because like now you're like, well, first of all, I mean,
Yeah,
I did flinch. It was like, but like just thinking about that, like preparing yourself, like it's not like boxing, you know, where it's like, you know, you're like moving around. It's like it's
like you know you're gonna get hit, like it's coming.
There's a big putazo.
Like it's on the way, and you know when it's coming because he told you it's gonna be at 2, and like you're just there, and you're just holding like a styrofoam like little thing behind your back, and you're just fuck.
It's funny when you see some of the slappers, you could tell like how scared they are when their body gets slapped, and those are the ones that like I tell you, if you're not ready for it, if you have any sort of a doubt, you're gonna get knocked out. And a lot of them, the ones that you see like scared, get knocked out. Yeah.
Damn. I'm gonna go back a little bit ago because you said something that I was laughing at myself. It's like my traumatized self. You said growing up, like something about like something helped by growing up in, and I thought you were gonna say in a Latino household. I was like, damn, he got his ass beat.
I did get my ass beat a lot.
That probably helped too, you know?
Probably did. I got slapped once by my abuelita and TJ. All the cousins were fighting in the room. You know how growing up with cousins, and we were all fighting and haciendo un escándalo, and my abuelita opens the door, swings the door open, and just out of all the kids, there's probably like 15 kids, she just points me out in the corner and slaps.
She knew. She picked you out. She said, him? He's going to be a power slapper.
I'm prepping him.
I'm prepping him.
He doesn't know this, but he's going to thank me later.
May she rest in peace, but I was so mad at her. I was just like, fuck you. I was like, the fuck did you do that for? I was so mad. But I think that also helped.
Yeah.
So was power slapping like 3-year-old Azael's like dream, or how'd you come across
just
it?
Growing up, I knew that I always wanted to be in combat sports, so I grew up around boxing and kickboxing. I ended up going to college, doing my 4 years at UCSD, and I kind of like lost track of my sports dreams just because I was so focused in school, but at the same time I was in school partying and all that stuff, so I was just like, I wasn't centered on something, so I lost that aspect of my dream, but in the back of my mind, I still wanted to be a boxer.
Okay.
I graduate from UCSD.
Congrats.
Thank you. I end up working in my new profession, which I was a counselor for people with developmental disabilities.
Nice.
So your autism, Down syndrome, all that stuff. I had a caseload of like 100 clients, but in the back of my mind, I still had boxing in the back of my mind. And that's when I decided to quit my job in 2023. Like I mentioned to you,
he was ahead of the game.
Yeah, he was in 2024.
He was a year
Quit your
ahead
job
of the
2023.
I started it. I started the movement.
His was finally free in 2023.
Yeah. No, but part of it was also that my wife was also applying to school. So I was like, if we're going to leave San Diego, this is my opportunity to start doing stuff for my own sake too. I love my job working as a counselor, but I knew that I wanted to do more of what I wanted. What does Azael want to do? And I wanted to be a boxer. So I started training. I moved out to the Caribbean with my wife. And then 2 months later, I get a call from Power Slap and they say, hey, we want you to come out, try it out, do a qualifier match and see if we like you or not. And they flew me out to Vegas. We did the qualifier match. I won. And Dana White said, you're in the house, pretty much. So I was like,
nice.
Okay. So
and what was your application process like? Was it just like, here's my experience, or like
pretty much. It's pretty much an application where you answer questions like, why do you want to be a power slapper? What combat sports or what sports in general experience do you have? Why do you think you're going to be good for power slap? So I see it, that's where I put all my childhood like fights or like getting hit.
Grandma slapped the shit out of me.
We also sent pictures. The weird part was the pictures. We had to send pictures, and I was sent some flexing and stuff. Luckily, I was already like on the workout because I used to be not a big drinker, but on the weekends I like to party a lot. So I had that big beer belly. So going to the island, that's when I was like, or like a year before COVID hit, I think, and that's when I started my fitness journey, and that's when I was like, man, if I was sending a picture of me with my beer belly and stuff, they probably wouldn't have gotten me and stuff. So I was just like, I got lucky.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. So now I went from wanting to be a boxer to now I'm a slapper. So.
And then growing up, you mentioned you grew up here in San Diego, in San Isidro, right?
San Isidro, yeah.
Did you box at all, like amateurly or
no?
Like
I just did sparring and just training.
Okay.
I think a lot of my childhood I was focused on baseball. I played baseball for 12 years, so I think that's why I got a good smack. You're baseball to players. So
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, well, circling back to the whole application stuff, it was like super random, right? Or where'd you see the post? Because
I think I saw it on TikTok. Dana White posted him. You know how he talks like all loud and stuff. He's like, I'm starting the biggest slap competition in the world or whatever. I kind of remember the whole like word by word that he was saying, but he was just saying that if you're interested or you think you got what it takes or blah blah blah, submit your application. It's in my bio. And so I was like,
what like prompted you? Like you saw that and you're like, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like this is what I'm gonna do.
I think as soon as just Dana White announcing it. I think if it was someone else announcing it, I wouldn't have paid attention to it. But it was Dana White. That's part of the UFC.
Yeah,
like,
it's huge. Yeah,
it's huge. So I was like, why not? But honestly, when I applied, I didn't tell my wife. I was like, I'm not gonna tell her because I don't want to look stupid. Like, what if they don't call me? Like, Dana White probably already has all his like fighters that are probably lined up that they don't want to fight anymore. They want to slap now. So I was like, they're not gonna call me. So, but 2 weeks later, they get a call, and that's when I tell my wife, hey, I applied to. She's like, what? When?
And before you saw this video, you knew what power slapping was, or was this kind of like you saw the video and you were like, oh?
I saw several videos. For me, it started with videos from like Russian leagues.
Oh, okay.
So they're not like
sounds like something Russian.
Yeah. and you would have like a heavy ass dude with some light dude, and obviously the heavy dude would knock out the light dude. So that's all I would see. But when I saw Dana White was associated with it, I was like, there's gonna be weight classes and stuff. Yeah. It's gonna be way more regulated than that. So that kind of was what prompted me too. So it was gonna be a lot more regulated, a lot more safer. And a lot more money. Sounds like a lot more money.
Nice. That's awesome.
And then like going through like the whole, how did your wife feel? Like when you finally told her, it's like, hey, this is what I did. Because I'm pretty sure if I told Pao one day, it's like, hey, you know what? I entered a power slap.
Pa eso yo te pego.
She'd be like, what the fuck did you get yourself into?
Slaps him.
Yeah. Plus, I'm like one concussion away from being like, like physically, like literally on paper handicapped. Like she's like, nah, bro, you're not going into that.
No. Yeah, for sure. In the beginning, she was super. I mean, she's always throughout the whole process, she's been super supportive. But once I got the contract, and in the contract it said all the legal stuff where the liability and all that stuff, what could happen, like
you know what you're getting yourself into.
You know what you're getting yourself into. And she started seeing like there was like words like just how dangerous. I don't know if it had like death in there.
I'm pretty sure death was on there. Yeah.
Did. So I think that's when she was just like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And then I was like, "Yeah, it's just I don't see any." I'm honestly not scared for it, just because I knew that right away they made us do so many medical exams, CT test, just a lot of stuff. It was a lot of blood work, a lot of brain scans. And I was like, they're being super safe with this, and it's only 3 slaps, and the people that I'm gonna be facing are in the same weight class as me. Maybe if I was facing someone that was a little bit heavier, maybe I would think about it twice for sure, because why am I gonna get smacked by someone heavier than me, that's gonna probably damage me for sure.
Yeah.
So I talked to my wife about those kind of things, and then she was like, okay, then go ahead and do it. I support everything that you want to do. These are your dreams. You've always wanted to do things like this. So when I went out to Vegas, the weird part though, I don't know if this is like already jumping, but when the qualifier match happened, you get your phone taken away, and you have to have everything packed in your hotel room, because if you made it to the house, we're taking everything with us, but you don't get a phone. So so I couldn't even tell my wife, like, hey, I won my match, or I couldn't tell my wife I'm in the house.
Celebrate, yeah.
I couldn't do anything.
Couldn't celebrate with anybody else.
Yeah.
So what you applied to was like preliminary to the house. Like you knew that's what it was.
What it was for,
Got
yeah.
it. Okay.
But so we were in Vegas for like 3 days, but the day before the actual match, they called us up, said, hey, we need you to pack up, give us your cell phone, any electronics that you have, because if you make it into the house, you're not going to have none of this available for you, and no communication with anyone, no loved ones or anything.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I didn't have communication with my wife for like a week and a half, and I was going crazy. I was like, nah.
I'm sure she was too, you know?
Yeah, especially because we also thought that this could potentially be a scam, you know?
Yeah.
I saw the Dana White post, but what if scammers started like also getting applications and pretending that they were part of the business? And I don't know. I was honestly scared going through all this. And then once we made it to the house, that's when we were like, okay.
Would you like research it before? Like, is Dana White, like on Google, like, is Dana White really doing this?
I Googled the company name where he put the bio from, and it was from The Ultimate Fighter. They were the producers from The Ultimate Fighter. And then I started looking for more stuff. Who is this? Salvatore, his name was, the one that called me. And then he was one of the producers but then I would like search for them on Instagram. I started being a chismoso too. And then I started looking. I was paranoid, man. I was just like, what if I do get kidnapped? Like, what if I arrive to Vegas and I get kidnapped?
Yeah.
Vegas, I don't know. I don't know if they're known to kidnap people and start
get
like
lost,
Isn't there
exactly.
like a whole
Like
like ass
trafficking.
underground
exactly.
world in Vegas and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but I was like in the back of my mind, I was like, I could get trafficked and killed. I don't know. So I was like, I was super fucking scared going in.
How was your family when the whole thing happened?
Same. They were just be
Seguro,
careful.
mijo?
See, they were supportive about the hits, or they never like questioned the hits or anything like that, but they did question the legitimacy of what I was going to. Like, is this real? Are you gonna be okay? Especially when they took away the phones, everyone was calling each other like, have you heard of Azael? Where is he at? That was like the hard part.
And
that is hard.
How long from when you were in the house to like when everything got aired? Like how long was that time period? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't live, right? Like it wouldn't.
No, it was probably like a month.
Oh, okay.
Like a month. January. We left the house like in December, mid-December, and then January it got aired.
And then you probably couldn't talk about it either, huh?
Yeah, we had to like
Signed the
keep,
NDA.
and then it sucked because first episode was aired on this. I think it was once a month. There was an episode, or was it? I don't remember. But first episode, I wasn't on there, so I was salty about that. Second episode, I was on there, but then Dana White kind of like shitted on my slap. He said, "Oh, this match was not good and stuff." That fucking hurt. I was like, "What?" And then after that, it just started popping up. But still, I had to wait all the time for my turn to like. But
shine.
pretty much every episode, I don't know if you noticed, it was Azael Rodriguez. Like,
Yeah, no, you did. It like scaled. Because I
Yeah.
did notice that too. Because in the sauna, you did tell me. I was like, oh, I'm in episode 2 to 8 or 9 or whatever,
Yeah.
7. And then I always forget like how many episodes it is. But then I was like, 2? And then I was like, whatever. I was like, I don't believe this guy. So I said, he got slapped way too many. He got slapped way too hard. He doesn't even know what episode he's on. So I watched the first one. I was like, oh, tenía razón.
He's not here.
He's not on this doc.
So for the listeners that don't know what the house is,
Okay.
can you kind of give us
So
an explanation?
Power Slap, the way that Dana White started it was similar to the Ultimate Fighter, where he picked out a group of fighters. They had an event in March of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
2022. They had an event, and from there they made cuts.
Okay.
Then they had a second event in November of 2023, the same year, and they brought in some new faces. and some of the guys that made the cut. And then from there, they made some of those guys fight some of the new guys. And then some of those guys got selected to automatically go into the house. So the purpose of all this was for us to be able to be the first people inside the Power Slap house. It's called Power Slap Road to the Title. That's the first season. And just those were going to be the pioneers to begin this sport, to begin being part of the roster, the official Power Slap roster. Some guys got cut in the middle of the season because they either didn't perform well. So this was the opportunity for people to shine and try to get noticed by the boss man Dana White and just be able to be a part of his successful business. So yeah, Power Slap Road to the Title Season 1. That's where you'll be able to find me. And then just Power Slap events are happening every 2 months. I'm on the next event, which is April 12th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm so excited because in the house, there was a guy in particular that really, really pissed me off. There's a lot of guys that pissed me off on the house. Everyone pissed me off in the house. They just couldn't tolerate me for some reason, and we would. I got kicked out twice from the Power Slap house. Like I got sent to a hotel.
Oh wow.
And that was so scary because you don't get told anything. You don't have a phone. You don't have anything. You can't use the hotel phone or else you'll get fucking in trouble. And then I was there from like midnight till like 12 p.m. the next day. No one would talk to me. They would be like, we're still talking to Dana White, see what he wants to do with you. And that happened twice. Man, just because of all these guys in the house just wanting to always pick fights and stuff. But anyways, one of the guys that was in the house ended up busting some scandal with me. And me and him were in the same. The weird thing was that me and him were in the same team. So I always used to talk to the guy in the bus on the way to training or whatever. Got to know him a little bit. I would grill in the house. I would always offer, hey, do you want a burger? He would always take my burgers. And then one day, he just decided to try to be a tough guy. I think it was the fact that I already had 2 strikes on me. I was on the verge of getting kicked out. So that's when he got in my face. He picked me up from the floor because I was sleeping on the floor and flipped my mattress and got in my face. And that's when he was like, you could hit me. He's like, I know you want to take it out. Hit me. And I was like, what the heck, bro? Like, really?
Yeah.
So after that slap, so we didn't really do anything after that because I couldn't really do anything. But after this Power Slap house, they interviewed me and they asked me, who would you want to face? And he was one of the guys, but he was a heavier guy. So he had to come down a division or I had to go up in the division. So now this match, they're bringing him down to my division. And he was a champion at 205. So it's going to be a good match to be able to put that guy down, 1 for pissing me off and 2 for being a champion and just, I don't know.
So him coming down a division, is that to your benefit?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Him in particular, yes.
Okay.
Because he's like a heavier dude who walks around like 220, 230. So he has to lose a lot of weight to hit the 186 mark. So that's what we have to hit at weigh-in. So I'm already walking at 190 and I've been walking at 190 for like forever. So another thing is that when they got our numbers, like our power numbers, we had to hit like a little, just like Dragon Ball Z, where you had to hit that machine to know how hard you hit.
Like measures your force, right?
Yeah. So we hit the same, and he was weighing at like 230. I was weighing at 177 when I hit that, and we hit the same. So I'm at 190 now, so my power probably got up. I did for sure, and then his power.
It's coming down because he's losing. Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna knock him out.
Yes, you are.
And that's actually one of the reasons. Like,
Is this live stream? I want to watch this. April 12th. I got plans.
It's live.
we're gonna have a watch party.
It's live and free. So just download Rumble, and you'll be able to see it live and free.
All right.
Definitely got to hit up one of the bars.
Yeah.
Let me live stream this shit real quick.
Exactly.
But that was one of the reasons why I wanted you on the pod so fast. Because usually we take a while. Like I talk to the guest a little bit, trying to feel the vibe and stuff. But then once you told me that you were fighting pretty soon, I was like, oh shit, it's like in 2 weeks. By the time this airs, it's gonna be like
right before.
Right before. But I want to take a step back a little bit. you going into the house? Like, at what point did it like get real for you? Like, oh shit, like this ain't a scam. I'm not getting kidnapped. This is real.
So I remember flying into Vegas and seeing the city like lit up. I probably got to Vegas like at 9 p.m. So it was dark and all the lights of the city was just there. And I was like, damn, I don't know if I'm here for something like good. But we'll have to see. I was still thinking about that. So, I was thinking like I'm gonna get to the hotel and it's gonna be some shady shit. But they pick us up at the airport. Some of the producers were there, and I met some of the slappers that were in the previous like selection round of selections. But still, I was just like, well, I don't know who they are. I don't know if this is really a producer or not or whatever. And then we just got taken to the hotel, and they just had a big team right there waiting in the lobby with computers, contracts, blah, 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 you name it. And then I speak to this guy named Joey, and Joey's like explaining everything to me to the dot. And that's when I kind of like realized, okay, this is legit.
This
like,
is legit.
yeah,
I went through this whole thing. It's legit.
And then I got into my room, and I was like, that's when I was like, like we're here, like let's do this, like. So I think, when I talked to Joey, he said, hey, so this is gonna happen. You're gonna have a match, but don't think that just because you win, you're automatically gonna be in the house. You gotta also
like fit the part.
Yeah, like have a character, or like not have a character, but they have to like you as a character.
Persona.
Because if you're just a boring individual who just slaps and you're just like,
You're just there, yeah.
So I was like, what does that mean? I don't want to do that. I don't want to like be fake. So I'm so glad I got accepted to the house, because I do feel like I didn't have like a character out there yet. So I'm just lucky that Dana White saw something and he ended up choosing me to be part of the house. So.
Well, it's kind of like the podcast. Like, I feel like, not that we're playing a character when we're on the podcast. I just feel like our personas you kind of have to elevate your persona a little bit more. Like, it's still me. It's just like me on ecstasy, I guess. You know, like this is still me, but it's just like I'm not faking it. Like when I'm out there and I'm out and about in public, like I'm still the same person. Like I'm still as bubbly sometimes. I don't want to say I'm bubbly, but
I also feel like these producers like have a pretty good eye for those things. You know? Like they know you're shy, like gonna be shy in front of all these people. It's your first time. You're obviously intimidated, but I think they just know how to pick them.
Yeah. Especially if they've had experience picking fighters for the Ultimate Fighter. One of the things that I have been working on, though, because you were mentioning the whole like in a podcast, like for me is just being true to when they ask me questions like directly, like how do you feel about blah 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 fighting this guy. Sometimes I'll answer like in a way that I think people want to hear, you know, but no, I got to be true to myself and just like kind of be a little bit more of it. But usually sometimes I tend to like care too much about what people think. So then it always alters what I say. Yeah. So I'm working on that for sure.
That's good. This is a good way to work on it.
It is. And it definitely, it's happened to me on the podcast, especially in like the first few episodes, where it's like I kept on thinking about like what the public wanted to hear versus what the conversation that I really wanted to have. And ultimately, it's like
that's what the public wants. Yeah,
it's what the public wants. It's like what do you really want to come out and say? You know,
you want the raw and like the authentic.
Versus like before, I was thinking of like, oh, this would make a really good reel, or if I asked this question, this would make a great clip. Or like sometimes I wasn't really even focusing on the actual current conversation because I was just so focused on what else could I ask, in order to get a good clip or a good podcast or just a good reaction out of this person, because I know that's gonna like create clicks, I guess, in a way. Yeah. So that was definitely like one of my personal like battles with the podcast.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So you're not alone.
No.
Thank you.
Not alone. What do you think was the most challenging part of the house?
The most challenging part of the house was when I did have those moments where maybe I got drunk and people wanted to fight me, and the hardest part was coming back to the house from going to the hotel and stuff, coming back to the house and like kind of being just there around people that didn't like me and stuff. But I always just, as soon as I think it was hard at first, but then as soon as I got back to the house, like a lot of people were always coming up to me and saying like, being cool as fuck with it. Like, there was one that I got into an altercation with. He came up to me the next morning, apologized, and we became really cool. And it was just being around. Like a lot of the time, there was a lot of individuals still had that little hate for against me, and I think that was pretty hard. Like I'm someone that tends to enjoy people and talking to people, and when people don't like me, I'm always like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like I'm thrown off.
But like, why?
Yeah, and these guys are just hopeless, and some of these guys just are not good people.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I just had to come in like with terms that it's not you, it's them.
Yeah.
Like,
And it happened so quick because I think it was like on episode 3 where it was like your first fight.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like after that episode, it made it seem. I'm not talking shit to Dana White or anything. Like, don't slap me though, or like just like the whole power slap thing in general. But I just feel like after that episode, I feel like they got you in such a, I don't want to say weak moment, but it was just a moment of like you just weren't at your greatest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were drinking. There's a lot of testosterone in that fucking
Yeah.
house.
That's what I was gonna say. How many guys?
it was 22 when
Oh
we first
shit!
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
there's-
lot of
yeah,
and then
testosterone.
they unbolt the doors, so you have roommates. You have another room that's like super close to your room, and no doors are available. No, you can't shut the door or anything. So you
No
gotta-
privacy.
Yeah.
No privacy. So you're hearing everything. So a lot
Yeah.
of the shit talking was also part of that.
Yeah. We had to take a quick break, but before that, I'm going to leave the listeners on a little cliffhanger. But do you feel, I feel like after that episode, I kind of feel like they kind of painted you as like the villain. And I feel like that kind of got to you because it got to me. Like I was watching it and I was pissed for you. Like I wanted to fight everybody.
Mario
And I
was
like,
slapping the air.
at that point, like you and I had already connected, and I was like, "That's my boy." No, nobody fucks with you.
Good thing I didn't come home.
But we'll let you ponder on that one a little
Okay.
bit because Jesus, pause. And we're back.
We are back.
So I'm watching the series, right? And I'm like, damn, like they're just making my boy look bad the whole fucking 7 episodes, you know? I was like, and it made it just seem like you were drunk the whole time. And it's like that's not the case because like you're training. I'm assuming they're like explaining the rules to you as soon as you get there because this is also new for some people, right? Because I mean, this is your first time slapping ever in your life, like competitively at least. And I'm assuming it's the first time for some people as well. Like, so there's a lot of learning going on. There's a lot of training. Because like I said, like I read up on the rules. It's like you can't even move. You can't like lift up your leg because that's a foul too.
Like if you're getting slapped, or
If you're doing the slapping, like you can't lift up your leg to like use more power. Because
Yeah,
you know,
they hit.
con el envión, pues
Like a
levantas el pie. Yeah.
You can't hit with your palm either.
Yeah. Or even if like you miscalculate. So, o sea, estás midiendo, no? And like you miscalculate and you like hit like this part right here, like
the
in
ear.
between like your neck and your jaw. Like that's another point taken off. So like there's a lot going on.
There's a lot.
It's not just let me just slap this guy like out of nowhere, like all loosey goosey, silly willy. But
And now that, just to mention, now it's, before it wasn't, but now it's, you get 2 fouls and you're disqualified.
Oh,
So
okay.
before in the house, you could,
it's even more competitive now.
yeah, now they're changing it up every
Like
single
tweaking
event.
things like that they see like little by little, just adding stuff. But just going back to that, I feel like they villainized you. Like they just made it like, I guess like every TV show needs that, you know? Like
Yeah. No, and I think, yeah, they did. And honestly, though, what I thought was going to end up happening afterwards, which I don't think they ever came across to doing it, was, okay, maybe paint me as this bad individual who's pissing people off, but then he's winning his matches. So, like, I mean, Dana White did mention it once, like, Azael's been a pain in the ass.
I think it was like-
But at the end of the day, he's like, it was, sorry.
No, I was gonna say that I think he mentioned it in like one of the last episodes.
Yeah, one of the last episodes, he's like at the end, like Azael's proving himself, but they kind of still didn't tie it down to like the growth, like or like it was just still till the last episode was Azael the drunk, the problem child, the troublemaker of the house, which I learned to kind of cope with it and realize, okay, whatever, this was the character that they wanted me to portray or whatever. But I kind of do still wish they would have tied it back to like, no, at the end of the day, Azael was just defending himself, or Azael was just not the problem child that the other fighters would say he was, or how they would treat him. But
That
never
doesn't bring
happened.
the viewers.
Yeah.
It doesn't bring the viewers for sure.
Doesn't
But
bring
I
the
had so
views.
much hate after the house with those episodes. Bunch of people just messaging me saying,
Oh.
"You drunk?
Yeah,
I hate
really?
you. Like, hope you fucking died." All this
Damn.
stuff.
From like random people.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm like, fuck you guys. I would respond. No, I would
Yeah.
respond to them in a kind way, saying, hey, you might want to think about how you talk to people, blah, blah, blah. Like
Yeah.
my counseling self came out.
Kill
and,
them with kindness.
yeah, and then they would be like, I'm sorry. I'm like,
You might want to think about how you talk to me, because I will slap the shit out of you.
no, it's always funny when they say sorry. They're like,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm sorry. Okay.
I've had that before on a TikTok where like someone like just on like TikTok or anything else, right? Like YouTube, they'll comment some dumb thing, and some guy's like, "Oh, I think it's kind of weird, like a 30-year-old making TikToks and posting it." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And then like I swear, like a month later, he comes back to the comments like, "Hey, man, I apologize for."
Some people
for
just need
saying
to
that."
learn how to
Yeah.
be kind.
Yeah.
They do. People don't have anything better to do. Damn, I had a question triggered right now, and I just lost it. But I'll come
you
back to it if I remember.
During that time when like all this was happening, like, yeah, you were getting drunk and stuff like that. But did you ever have a moment where you're like, esto no es para mí, yeah, like
Like
or,
the
a
slapping?
moment- yeah, or like just a moment of like giving up, because like
No.
you mentioned too,
No,
like you
no.
also got kicked out twice, or you went to
Yeah.
the hotel twice. You didn't know what was going on, like you didn't know if it was going to continue. You also don't know if like Dana White is going to continue with Power Slap too. Like it could be one of those things where it's like it could run for a season, then he like just up and quits. Like it wasn't for the people, or for the audience didn't really want it, or like did you ever feel like giving up?
No, I think for me, it was just like after getting all this like shit talked or whatever, I'm the type that takes a lot of grudges. I keep those grudges, and they're going to stick with me until I can do something about it. So in my mind, I was like, we're going to get a match. Like one of the guys, which was my last match, was like, I'm going to eventually have to face this guy. So let's continue to work hard and get past all these like moments where getting kicked out or getting in trouble. But like, yeah, man, my thing was just proving myself, not to them, because I would always they missed a lot of moments when I was like talking my shit, and I would tell a lot of the guys like, you ain't shit, like who are you? Why are you at 185? Because I'm at 185. I'm like, go to 170, bro. Like you don't want this, and they're not in the show anymore because those are the type of things that I would tell them and stuff. And I would never want to. I always wanted to be as respectful as possible, even though they were like being mean to me and stuff or whatever. But no, man. I think to answer your question, it was always driving me to just
It
kick
fueled
ass.
your fire.
Yeah, every single, and this next match is gonna be like that, where I'm still fired up about it.
Yeah, well, because you have so much like resentment.
Yeah.
towards
Does it
him
feel
and
like
everything.
I have something to prove?
Yeah.
Type, like,
With this
yeah.
guy, I don't have anything to prove. I just really want to smack him and
Yeah.
draw. Like,
No, trust me,
It's
I was-
already in you. You're like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like,
smack
I
him.
just
wanted to
wanna-
smack him too. Like I know
Yeah.
it was a Jay,
AJ,
yeah.
yeah.
And I like towards the end too, I was like, man,
yeah.
fuck your dreads.
Careful with what you say. He's gonna come find you and slap you.
I have
Fight me.
I have a twin brother, and my twin brother he messaged me when he found out about the match, or because I had told him about it, and he messaged me right away. He said, "Can I slap for you on this one? Like, let me go on this one." He's never like mentioned wanting. We used to do it at work and stuff, where we would replace each other, but
shit.
yeah,
wow.
we would do it at work and stuff. But he had never mentioned it about Power Slap, and he finally, when he saw AJ was going up against me, he's like, "Hey, can I
do
what if I
this?"
just do it for you? I want to knock him out." And I'm like, "Nah,
No,
dude."
this one's mine.
Yeah.
I remember my question, and it kind of ties in. So you know how like if you're a professional boxer, like you can't fight in the street, right?
Oh, like your hands are registered.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're technically a walking weapon.
Yeah. Can you slap in the street?
Nah,
like,
nah.
You're done.
And
like,
even if like someone wants to like do it for a video and stuff, nah, like
oh,
Fuck,
like we
fuck,
couldn't even slap you
God.
down.
Well,
All right, then it has to be Jesus and Mario. I say it's Jesus and Mario.
Yeah,
I'll be the referee.
Yes.
Because like I had a friend that he used to do totally different, but he used to do karate. But this was when I was in high school, and he was pretty hyped. I think he had like a black belt, and he would tell me, he's like, "Oh, I can't get into fights. Like I'm registered." But I didn't know anything about like registering your hands or just registering as like a person, like as a fucking lethal weapon. And I was like, "Pinche fucking bullshitter, bro! Like get the fuck out of here, dude!" And then I actually learned that people actually do that when you get to like certain ranks.
Well, because you can kill someone.
Yeah,
No,
you
it's
can
like criminal.
Yeah, it wasn't until like I got into like boxing and MMA where I was like, "Oh shit!" Like my coach can't box out of this fucking training session. It's like if he goes outside and punches somebody, like he'll automatically go to jail.
Does that ever change? Like for boxers, like once they retire, like is it like forever? Like you can no longer, like you can't get into a fight.
I think it's just as long as you're like in a contract, that's probably like when you can't. But once you're like out of everything, it's just gonna be like the same old as I mean, unless you beat up this person. It won't necessarily come back to like something written, but it'll come back to if you beat up this person and it goes to court, they see that you were a boxer or whatever.
There's consequences.
A lot more consequences, yeah.
Makes sense.
I never trained MMA. Just to put it out there on the record, just in case I get into a fight.
I thought you did. I thought you said you got into it, Laura. You just got into it like watching.
I got into it. So I was always very low-key aggressive. Like, not that I would just randomly beat somebody or like randomly beat Bao. No, it's just like I had a very, I had a very short fuse. Yeah. Stop. They're gonna think it's for real. Don't hit me. I just had a very short fuse, and especially alcohol, of course, is in the picture. It's like you just look at me the wrong way. I'm like, "Que puto," you know? Like, what? You want to start something? Yeah. And then just the whole, family issues, daddy issues, and all that shit. Like I had to like put my
to channel it somewhere else.
Channel it somewhere. And to me, my outlet was always football. And I was like, oh, that's dope. I can just fucking truck somebody over like for fun. Like hell yeah. And then, como todos, could have gone pro. Tore my ACL. By the time I was playing college ball, I was on like my third concussion, and I was like, well, it's either my life and living an okay life, or I continue this dream.
And might die.
Yeah. At the time, I was in community college, so I was like, I had to go through like so much shit and like JUCO, playing for like, just random stuff in order to even get noticed. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to continue with school. So like for like a year, I was like not doing anything physical. Like I wasn't even going to the gym. I was just like partying, drinking, smoking, just living my best life, you could say, right? But I just had all this pent up aggression. And at one point, I was like getting into stupid fights over just random things. I would go to PB and we'd get into fights. I'd go into IB, get into fights, Sometimes like people wouldn't even look at me the wrong way. Like I just thought they were looking at me the wrong way because it was alcohol. Yeah. And like I was starting fights. And I was like, dude, I got to channel this somehow. And I started getting into boxing. I started getting into MMA. And just doing random stuff. So I did that for like a few years. And then finally I was like, okay, ya cálmate, Mario. But it did help me channel a lot of my aggression. Because it was like, le puedes meter el putazo a alguien and they're willingly there. It's not like someone and you're at the bar and it's like,
they're not trying to dodge your...
Yeah. And it was nice to know. It was also very humbling. Because like when I was training MMA, it was like a lot of the people that kicked my ass were like 70, 80 pounds lighter than me. But they're like literally kicking my ass. I was like, yeah, wait, no mames. Versus when you fight somebody that's bigger or in your weight class, it's a lot more like tempoed. Obviously, because they're moving a lot slower, and it's like it's different. Versus someone who's smaller, they're a lot more agile. So it definitely was a humbling experience. So now I never fuck with anybody that's smaller than me. I also check people's ears.
If they have the cauliflower.
Yeah, cauliflower.
Yeah.
First thing I did.
I think if you and I were friends in bars and stuff, we would have fucked everyone up.
Oh yeah,
it would have been a bad combo because I was in the same situation where. No, actually for me it was more like if someone. I mean, maybe it was. I'm trying to fucking portray myself as something I'm not. But yeah, I would get in so many fights.
Now I'm the villain.
Yeah.
No, especially at bars, it was really bad. And then when I really was like, wait, no mames, cálmate, was like, I got into a fight with some guy that literally wasn't even looking at me. He just looked in my direction because I was sitting right next to the door, and he was waiting for one of his homies, I guess. And like I turned around at the same time he did, and we locked eyes, and I was like, who the fuck? And I was like, all right, you got an issue, bro. Chill the fuck out. Yeah.
Anger management problems.
But now I'm fine. Look at me. I'm just
It was a learning experience.
Yeah.
What does your like training up to fight day look like? Is it what is it called? Is it fight day for you? Slap day?
Slap day. We call it fight day.
Okay.
Others would start commenting right now and say, why
Others
does he
would
call
slap
each
us.
other? Now they comment saying, why is he calling himself a fighter or whatever? I'll still fight. I'm still a fucking
I mean,
fighter.
that's still-
But anyways,
Not everyone wants to get slapped willingly,
Yeah,
right? So
and get knocked out by a
Yeah.
slap. No, but my training routine is usually a lot of running, a lot of weightlifting, boxing. I still go out to box, and I work 4 to 5 hours a day now. Now that I don't have a job, this is my job.
Yeah.
This is pretty much waking up, working out, resting, eating, working out, resting, eating, working out. So it's like just a little bit of everything. I recently started getting into swimming. I think that's going to provide me with some very, very powerful slaps. But for the most part, it's just the weightlifting and running. I think those are the main two that I usually do. I have my wife holding out like a pad where I'm just slapping the
paddle.
fuck
Oh,
out of
okay.
it. Yeah. So she holds it, and she's the one that tells me you could hit it harder, or
Dang.
you missed it, or all that type of stuff.
Your wife has to be strong.
Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I do gotta tell her, hold it. Oh, she just like, but no, she loves it. She loves fucking being right there, holding the thing for me, telling me how to hit it. If I'm hitting it in a certain way, she'll give me her little feedback. So that's helped out a lot.
That's good. That's cool.
Is getting slapped part of your routine also? Like at one point?
Dude,
I was gonna ask the same question. I'm not gonna lie.
so I never get slapped, but so I haven't. All right, so I slapped myself. So when I was in the island 2 weeks ago, I pop a little edible, 5 milligrams. I do micro dosing, and so I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and then I just bite down, and I'm like, okay, 1, 2, and then I smack the shit out of it.
Do it right now.
I do that like maybe once every like month. So me pasó. That time is already. I won't do it again until April 1st.
Okay.
Was it hard, like, getting into the rhythm? Because like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I was like, you can't flinch. You had to like, you're literally, when the putazo is coming. And you didn't come from this background. So it's like, you never slapped before. Like, was it hard to like, I guess, get into that routine or like acostumbrarte a eso? It was like,
I think the defense part wasn't too hard because like I know I could take a hit. So when I felt the first hits, the second time hits, they all were feeling the same. So that aspect of it, I was 100% on it. But when it came to me actually throwing a powerful slap, because you're constantly aware that you can't shift your feet, you're constantly aware that you have to hit them at a certain spot. That did take me, I feel like, all the matches in the house. Even after, I think it took me a while to get used to just not slapping, because I was super confident in my slap too, but it was just more being confident in my feet and not having to worry about it and just throw like a bigger smack. But for the most part, it was always like 1, 2, and I was always like, while I was winding up, it was always your feet, don't pivot it. So it wasn't until I think it was Power Slap 2 where now I could throw a slap and like I don't even have to think about my feet because I know I'm not gonna pivot. Like I never pivoted, but it was always just in the back of my mind.
Because you knew, like, don't fuck up.
don't fuck up,
don't
yeah.
let this be the one time you do.
Yeah,
pivot.
because if you foul once, it's hard for you to win unless you get that knockout. So if you didn't knock him out the first one or second one, it's gonna be hard to knock him out in that third one. So yeah, you just got to make sure you don't foul because those fouls fuck you up.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that Dana White was talking about in the first match in episode 2 was with Jesus, right?
Jesus.
Because he kept on lifting his feet.
Yeah, but he made it seem like I did too.
Yeah,
And I was like,
I noticed that shit
I
too.
was like,
I keep
bro.
telling you, dude, they made you look like a fucking villain.
yeah,
bro.
exactly, bro.
They had it out for you.
Yeah, I was so upset when he said that. I was like,
Yeah.
he should have mentioned who fouled or whatever. But I think when they showed that fight, it was just, it kind of seemed like both of us had fouls after foul after foul. So
Do you? And this is gonna be like super random, but like, do you use less chalk now?
I like using the chalk.
Okay.
I like so you have to chalk up on the first one, and after that you don't have to. A lot of people don't do it just because it's harder for the person or the refs to tell where if you hit them, maybe like it was not placed well. If you don't have enough chalk, maybe they'll miss it. I like having the chalk just so they could know, like, nah, like it's right there, or you could just get that whole
Like the
picture, because they send us afterwards. They send us a whole bunch of pictures of the event, and I like that. I like the whole like explosiveness and stuff.
Just frame it up in your living room.
Yeah,
just a bunch of poofs.
no, especially you grab that chalk and you're just like, and then it's just all like.
Yeah, well, I noticed it in your first match because I was like, you were like chalked up everywhere, bro.
With Jesus?
with the Jesus, yeah.
No, it was just hard. I had never had chalk on me before, so I was just like
Like
I don't know.
everywhere. It's like you had handprints, bro. How did your first knockout feel?
That one felt really. Honestly, there's so much adrenaline that you don't really think about it. Like I don't remember the feeling of me like yelling out to his name's Carice, yelling out to Carice like sit the fuck down. Like I don't remember like being that emotional about it. And I think the first hit that I hit him and he fell, he got back up and he started doing his growling thing and started like being just this aggressive individual. That kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, oh shoot, like he's back. He's gonna smack me again hard. But then when I knocked him out the second time and I won by the TKO, I don't know, man. I think the adrenaline just didn't let me enjoy a knockout. And I tend to feel bad for people like a lot of times. So when he got knocked out, I do remember kind of like because I remember talking my shit and saying stuff. But then I remember thinking, like, calming myself and say, yeah, pues ya lo noqueaste. You already knocked him out. Like, cálmate.
Yeah.
Pobrecito.
You know what? That's funny. That's one thing I did notice that like after all your fights, you would always say thank you to the refs.
Yeah.
It's like you would just go up to everybody and you'd be like just clapping everybody up. And I was like, he's so polite.
No, I met a lot of people afterwards that wanted to interview me. Like Nina was one of them. Her name, she does a lot of the UFC, and she's like, we got to know each other a little bit. And she's like, who are you? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, this is not who I thought was gonna come right now. And she thought like a whole different image of me from the show. She's like, no, this is not who you are.
Yeah.
A lot of people had actually had that experience, so it's cool.
I think, a lot of those shows just, they do that on purpose, you
Yeah.
know? Like, they obviously try to portray, like, the person being different so that, like...
But I wouldn't mind, now I'm thinking about it, and I wouldn't mind becoming a McGregor or a shit talker. But I don't know how. It's just like...
You're like, I'm too nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is
On the 12th, Azael's going to be talking all kinds
For
of shit.
real.
Like, no que no.
Look at my fucking interview. Look at my fucking interview.
Let's see. No, I did say, I've been saying I'm going to be more aggressive, so hopefully that aggressiveness comes out because I think this fight deserves that aggressiveness.
Yeah.
I don't think it deserves any, mutual respect. It doesn't deserve any, oh, may the better man win. Fuck that. No,
I'm gonna win,
this
bitch.
shit. Yeah.
There you go.
Damn, I'm excited.
We really are going to have a watch party.
April 12th, right?
April 12th. But right now, I think it's we're waiting to see if AJ makes weight. I was gonna make a video today just saying, hey, for all of you AJ followers, hit him up and wish him good luck on his cut and check up on him and give him all the props that he needs to lose that weight. Because if he doesn't lose the weight, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, because then you don't...
I think they're gonna have a replacement, but I don't want the
you want it to be
replacement.
him, yeah.
I'm number one. I don't want someone below me. I want the champ, or I want AJ now. Honestly, when AJ got brutally knocked out his last match, and that's when I said, you know what, I don't need AJ anymore. Whatever, pobrecito. But then when they called me up a few weeks ago, they were like, hey, what do you think of getting AJ? He's gonna drop down, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
All the videos just resurfaced, bro. All the PTSD from the house.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good one, and I get slapped first, so just so you guys know, I'm 5-2. The 5 wins that I have, I lost the coin toss, so I got hit first, and I won all those matches. So this one's gonna be one
So
of
you
those.
kind of know what's coming.
Yeah, you know what's coming. You kind of get fired up a little bit more. I don't know, I like it.
Well, yeah, because then you kind of know how hard you have to go, right?
Yeah,
Because now you
yeah,
already know
yeah.
how hard they hit.
Yeah, I just
That makes
I
sense.
suck at setting the tone where like now I have to set the how hard I hit so he knows how hard he has to hit. I don't know. I have to get out of that little mindset, but yeah, I'm getting hit first on this one, and I'm pretty happy about it.
That's good. Wow. Who
And I
would've
did
thought?
see one where you like I don't know if it I don't think this was aired in the house. I'm telling you, dude, as I went down this like spiral, like
Yeah.
dark hole. I was like,
Mario's your number one fan at the moment.
Yeah.
where like you like recouped in like 2 seconds. Like they
Yeah.
slapped you, your like eyes rolled back, and like you were about to tip over, and like next thing you know, you were back up, and I was like, what the fuck?
There was I did that with the champ this October, and I lost because I fouled in the first one. If I didn't foul, I would have won that match, but like I am.
Yeah, watching the matches is just crazy.
Yeah.
It's intense, huh?
It's intense, and especially when they do the slow mo shots, and like their skull is right here, but the rest of their face is over here, and it's like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. And then if you compare it to other slap competitions, like Power Slap is number one. Power Slap is the best to watch. It's like so entertaining. The slappers are entertaining. The slaps themselves are entertaining compared to other leagues that I'm like,
Yeah.
man, you guys are the minor leagues. I'm sorry, but you guys are the minor leagues. That's something that I've always like. I hate when people are like, there's another slap organization that likes to compare, and I'm just like, bro, like, chill.
Do
guys
you
are-
see more people coming to Power Slap a
Yeah.
lot more? Like you see it growing a lot more?
Yeah, for sure. They have our roster is huge. We have maybe 100 individuals on the roster. You only see like if you go to the Power Slap website, you probably only see a few because only the ranked fighters are like there. But we have a lot of fighters. More girls are joining. The girls ones
was gonna
are
ask
like,
about that,
yeah, the
actually.
girl ones are pretty brutal. They're opening up more weight classes, so it's becoming a lot. It's growing at a rapid. It's only been a year, and it's like super big right now. But I want it to be bigger.
We'll get there. I mean, Dana White's on it.
for
so.
sure.
Do you have an audience?
At the events,
uh-huh.
yes, it's usually just like celebrities that Dana
Okay.
White like invites and stuff.
But you
The-
can't take someone. Like you can't take your
So
friend.
before this last event in I think it was like a month ago, 2 months ago, they had an event. That was the first time they started selling tickets. And from there, so before that, they would give us 2 tickets and we could only invite 2 individuals. So I would always just get my wife and whoever I would pick. I had a long line of family members, but now I don't think they're giving us opportunity
No.
to bring anyone on.
Dang.
So I don't know if I'm gonna have to buy a ticket for my wife. I was like, man, I'm flying her from all the way from Grenada. She's coming just for one day, literally.
Oh wow.
Thursday, she gets there Thursday night. She's gonna be there Friday for the match, and then Saturday bounce. So it's
Dang.
like,
Yeah, that's tough because that's just really quick, and then
Yeah.
you have to buy the ticket to go.
yeah,
into the...
yeah. So
Hopefully
they're-
not. I mean, you are the
I
fighter.
know.
Like,
You
what
think
the
they
fuck?
give you one? What the hell, Dana White?
Yeah.
You got enough money, bro.
I
Are
think
you
I-
and Dana White friends? Like,
Yeah, I know. That's one of the things that got me in this one because, like, sometimes I do feel like I'm being treated like como un tonto. I'm like, bro, like I ain't one of those other slappers that like.
Like, I am the
Yeah,
champion.
I'm number
like,
one.
Yeah, bro, like I ain't, and I made the first season. Like honestly, like the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
season was just Azael. So whatever, man. Like I'm saying, I'm gonna be a villain this time, like a real villain, and talk my
That's
shit.
what's up.
As long as I get that one ticket, I'm gonna be a villain.
Fun, man.
That's dope, dude. That's pretty. I mean, honestly, I didn't really know much about it until like we met. Jesus
Well,
randomly
Jesus
was
had been
talking about it
mentioning
too,
it, yeah.
So funny.
and I was like, yo,
What are the
that's,
chances?
It's done.
yeah. What?
It's almost done.
Okay. And I was like, yeah. What are the chances of like me meeting somebody like right after this shit happened?
He really did manifest it. Like he
Yeah.
brought it into the space. Like
Yeah.
he brought
I
that
didn't even
energy
ask for
into
it. My
the space.
TikTok just brought it into my life.
True.
Thank God I quit my job. But anyways, we're gonna take a quick pause, guys, and we'll be back.
Yes.
All right. Jesus pause. And we're back. Sorry, that was a little awkward. What's your walkout song? Because I think that's one thing I don't you don't
don't know
really
yet?
hear. Yeah.
So we didn't have walkout songs in the house.
Mm-hmm.
First live event, I chose Gente Accionar by Grupo Codiciado. That one was just fired me up, but I still lost that match. But after that, I've been doing I Am a Hit by Peso Pluma, and Lady Gaga was my latest one. That
Okay.
one, I think, that one kind of stuck with me, and I was like, I think the Lady Gaga one, Peso Pluma, Lady Gaga, not Lady Gaga.
yeah.
It's like,
Rah, rah, rah.
no, yeah. So I was like, I'm still thinking about for this next one. I think I'm thinking more of a, like, como mariachi type.
Okay.
Like I want something like super Mexican, so that way when hears it, because in the house they didn't put it a lot, but there was a lot of times that I would wear my sarape, and when I would wear the sarape, everyone would be like, "Nah, fucking take that shit out," because they knew that when that was on,
Yeah.
like I was gonna talk my shit, like I was gonna be aggressive towards people, or not aggressive towards people. I was just
It's like your
myself,
alter ego came out.
Yeah. So everyone would say that. So I kind of want AJ to get like that, like deja vu, like oh shoot, he's coming out, so I'm gonna come out with the sarape and like. Just
Nice. You're really getting under his
Yeah.
skin. You're like, under in a
You kind
pub.
of have to, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
But I like
he
that.
he had commented some stupid stuff saying I'm gonna lay flatline Azael, and then I commented back saying you better make weight, bro. And he didn't comment back, so I was like,
I blocked him, so I'm gonna unblock him.
All petty.
send him a
Mark.
message. I need people
Yeah.
to reinforce him to.
I went onto
Lose the
his
weight.
page
Lose
and I
the
just
weight.
started spamming everything. This is spam. This is spam.
This is AI.
Okay,
But fuck, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna ask something. Oh, if you could have only one walkout song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
okay, so if if I could have one song, it'd probably be Gente Accionada.
Yeah.
Or one de Grupo Firme, but I wanted to come out to Grupo Firme, but yeah, I think Gente Accionar with Grupo Firme, maybe, because they have Grupo Firme and Grupo Codiciado. I think that one I would come out to that walkout song. Like,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What would be your walkout song, babe?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, the
I don't know
Ballers
what it's
one, the
called,
Lil
yeah.
Wayne.
I
and,
never know what it's called.
Fuck, I always forget what it's called too.
what would you come out to?
I don't know. I always think about like what my walkout song would be. Sometimes like I wish I could be like half Mexican so I can come out to the Soy Mexicano, esta es mi bandera.
I was thinking of that one too, pero
It just gets me fired up. Like sometimes I'm in the
Yeah.
gym and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm
Yeah,
Mexican,
yeah.
dog. I'm not.
do you have one?
I've always thought of the Kanye West. Which one is it? The Black Skinhead, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that part, like just like that main part,
Oh, okay.
like the hard part.
Shit.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part coming into the fight when they message us or they email us, hey, what's your walkout song? I'm like, damn, mom.
I know you really have to think about it because
Yeah.
it makes
It's
a
hard.
huge
It sets the
difference.
tone,
Like
yeah.
it really does set the tone. Even
Yeah.
when we're watching like boxing or like anything else, or even
Yeah.
like when we're at the Padre games, like sometimes the players choose some whack ass songs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like come up with something better, you know?
So for this one, I am
Dancing
thinking about
Queen.
it a lot. And that's why I was thinking like some mariachi. I feel like it could go, even though there's a lot of white people, Americans watching it live, I feel like it could potentially just set the tone where, oh shoot, like this motherfucker, Mexican ass motherfucker
Yeah, you
coming out.
gotta
Yeah, you know?
set
Pero pues
yourself.
también like I was thinking... Well, I was thinking Adele actually. No, I was thinking Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. A lot of those songs, if you ever see me at the gym, you'll be like, what is he listening to? I'm listening to Adele or Olivia Rodrigo.
Really? Dude, I would have never imagined that.
Let me photograph you in. And I'm just like, just benching, dude.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's definitely one
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
I
Oh
would
yeah, I
have
would have never
imagined.
thought about that. I don't know what my walkout song would be.
I know,
like,
that is hard.
Still thinking about it.
What would you walk? You'd probably walk out to like a Bad Bunny song or something.
Probably.
Mamma Mia.
Like something
Here we
from
But
the
like,
go
but like
again.
old Bad
Yeah, like
Bunny,
trap
like
Bunny.
old trap Bad Bunny.
Like Booker T or something.
Oof.
My wife loves that song.
Really?
Yeah,
Booker T?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do like an old trap Bad Bunny,
Yeah.
like Avatar Bad Bunny. Like,
Yeah.
Booker T is pretty tight, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty
that would
good
be a badass. I was actually thinking, I don't know if you guys watched WWE, but I was
Sometimes.
thinking Booker T, he has a song. His song is "Can You Dig It,
Mm.
Sucker?" And then it just like starts like fucking fire. And I was like,
Fireworks,
that would be
yeah.
funny as fuck. But I think people would take it as racist because AJ's black and Booker T's black,
Oh.
and then it'd be like, is he doing it just because AJ's black? I'm just
Possibly.
like,
Yeah.
People are ultra sensitive
yeah.
nowadays.
seriously,
So.
you can't talk any
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
anymore.
So no Booker T.
No, but I like your pattern of like keeping it within like Mexican.
Yeah, I think that's the.
And your reasoning behind it.
Yeah, and I just think that being Mexican and growing, I mean, I was born here in the United States, but I always say I'm 100% Mexican because my blood is Mexican.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I was born here, I'm Mexican. My parents are from Tijuana. All they speak is Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, okay, just because you were born in America doesn't mean that you're 100% American. You know, I'm fucking Mexican. So I'm trying to keep it like that where I'm just keeping to my roots. Went to TJ every single weekend, so I know my Spanish. I know. Me encanta la comida mexicana. Just, I'm Mexican. Like,
Yeah, I feel that. No, I
you know?
feel that too because
don't
I
wanna-
always say it.
Yeah, there's other fighters I know that they're just like, no, like they don't want to like follow their roots. And it's, I don't know.
Me gusta chicken.
Maybe it's a chicken. I do like chicken though.
De Washington.
Before we start wrapping things up, I do want to ask just one question before.
I have a question,
I
too.
was before. You want to ask your question? You go first.
Maybe because I think yours is gonna derail from
Probably.
the topic. Huh?
Yeah.
It's not really about that.
No.
I want to know about your. Did I ask this? I didn't ask it, right? I asked it so many times in my head, so I wouldn't forget that I don't think I asked it out loud. Your toughest and your easiest fight or slap. Did I ask that?
No.
No.
Okay.
My toughest fight was probably against John Davis, as he's the champion. So we went from that was my first loss. I got knocked out, but I got back up, so don't think I just got slapped. I went from that to going 5 full rounds against John Davis, and that one was a pretty tough match because that was a match that a lot of the rounds was like, I'd get smacked and I'd be like, and then I'd be like, wake up. And then just seeing how he was just taking all my hits too was just like, it's hard on you because you're just like, what do I need to do? So, but later down the rounds 3, 4, and 5, that's when I was like hitting them with some fucking bangers. But yeah, I think that match was the hardest. Easiest was probably, I'm sorry, Jesse, but Jesse Nutting, he's probably not going to see this anyways, but Jesse Nutting, he's a tough, he's a tough taker. He could take hits like crazy, but his slaps were just,
They weren't
nothing.
that.
No.
We're gonna clip that.
I was gonna say
I
I'm
know.
gonna clip that so he sees it. Yeah.
Do you leave like with like
With the
the
mark? Or
mark?
something? No, I think you do leave with, for me, it just depends also on the fighter, but I leave with like a little mark, like a red mark. Since I have calluses and stuff, I shouldn't probably say this, but I've like left like, rajas,
Like
I'm
marcas
like,
and
yeah. But they're usually like, when I'm fighting, like I cut them down and stuff. So it's,
Well, they check you.
yeah, they check your calluses and stuff. So, but yeah, Jesse Nutting, easiest, John Davis, hardest.
Thanks. Kept asking the questions, because then I forget my questions. I'm like, I should start writing them down.
Do they? Now I have more questions. Fuck. Do they control your beard now? Because like technically, it's kind of considered like padding. No?
Yeah, they haven't yet, and I don't think it'll get to the point where it will. But there's a lot of the audience have mentioned that, not live audience, but like in the comments. So it could get to a point where they're like, hey, you know what? We got to make it unison for everyone, fair for everyone. I don't necessarily think it's gonna make a difference, but what I do think it could get problematic is when it's super big and you can't really see where the chin is at. I think that's when you should be like, yo, like let's
trim it
cut.
down.
Yeah, because
Like have it up to like a certain length.
yeah, just because maybe you hit really hard and but it looks in the angle, it looks like maybe you clubbed them. Maybe you'll get fucked over because you couldn't really see the chin. So
Yeah.
I think eventually it should get to a point where it becomes
Like, it
nice
has
and
to be
clean.
clean.
Nice and clean, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think this is the biggest that I've had it, so I think this is how I'm gonna keep
Rock it from now on.
Yeah,
Nice.
just
I was thinking about that too. Like when I was looking at his right now, because I have him at an angle and I look
Yeah.
at his beard, because I have a beard too.
Well, it's because there was one guy on the season. I forgot his name, but he had a pretty thick beard, and like I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's kind of unfair. Like, like let's say he's going up against someone who's just
Yeah, I guess that's true.
egghead
It's
bald,
kind of-
and it's like,
I mean, it's not like cushion either.
a ver.
Still,
there's a few guys that have shaved it off just to prove that doesn't really make a difference. But I mean, who knows? I don't. When I got knocked out, though, I can tell you that I went to the barber and he kind of trimmed it more than what I wanted. So maybe that brought in some fucking heavier
Maybe.
slab.
Trim your shit.
Yeah, I was just like, the last time he trimmed it too, I was like, no.
You got to stop using that barber.
No, he's a really great barber. Shout out to Moy. I'm sorry, but I think it was just me not voicing. Hey, don't come over here. Don't touch it.
Hey, now you know. Don't cut his shit.
Don't cut my shit.
Before April 12th.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to know, like, what keeps you going? Like, what keeps you motivated? Like, obviously, this is a new space. It was a new endeavor for you. You thought you were going to get kidnapped. Now, obviously, you're gaining the traction. You're growing. The sport is growing. Like, what's your why now?
Why I continue with the sport is probably, well, it's not probably, but it's because I've been number one since leaving the house. I've been in the top of the rankings. So it's just continuing to prove, or not to, but yeah, there's a lot of new guys now that have been like calling out the top ranks. And I'm like, no, like I just want to continue proving that I'm going to be top of the rankings forever. And then my ultimate one is just my wife. Is just ever since we started dating, it's always been in the back of my mind. I'm doing my goals. I'm always working for you. I want what's best for you. She likes to travel. I want to be able to get her to travel whenever she wants. She likes houses. I want to buy her a house whenever we get to the point to buy a house when we're back. So it's just a lot. Number one would be my wife.
Is your wife from here?
My wife is from here, yeah.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been together since we were in middle school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys
So
are
it's
together.
been since 2006. We've been together. Married, we've been married for 2 years now.
Okay.
3 years. 3 years. Sorry.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, please, 3 years. Or 2 years. No, just kidding. No, 3
We've been
years,
married.
3 years. Yeah, we've been married.
Think about it.
But yeah, we've been together forever, so
Yeah, no, that's
it's been
a really
nice.
long time.
It's
That's
been nice.
awesome.
Just when she went to college, she went to UCLA. I went over here, so it was kind of a good opportunity for us to leave and see what the heck we were gonna do with each other, and then came back and just we're together still.
That's awesome.
Solid.
So that's how you know
Thank
it's
you,
meant to be. So you guys are going on almost 20 years?
Yeah.
That's fucking
Damn.
wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was meant to be when she said yeah about the slapping.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would have been like my
At that
craziest
point,
idea
she's 20
ever.
years in. Like, she's going to have to accept that. She's like, I put up with his ass for 20 years and now he wants to slap people? Damn.
That's so crazy to me. Like, just thinking of like me going to my family and be like, yeah, I'm gonna slap people for a
Yeah.
living.
Your mom would be like, Junior, estás loco.
Like, she didn't even want me to box.
Your dad would be so confused.
Yeah. It's like, what? First podcasting, now slapping?
Imagine. Yeah,
Oh,
no.
man.
You can't because of your concussions.
No,
Like,
I
I
can't.
always support your
Literally
dreams,
can't.
but not
But
that
not this
one.
one. Don't.
I'll become a commentator.
Okay,
You can be a
do
catcher,
that.
and the catchers are the ones that catch you.
No, y luego se cae y se
ya
pega
no.
la cabeza. ¿pa' qué
La
queremos?
ciática.
You can be the commentator.
Yeah,
You can sit next to Dana White or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I just want people to catch my reactions, like when they did a Joe Rogan in the UFC, and he's just like holding the mic, like,
There you go.
So we're gonna start wrapping things up, unless you guys have any more questions.
No, I think I got all my questions out.
You got them out?
I think so.
All day she's like, I have this question, I have this question. Don't let me forget. It's like,
Yeah,
write
I
them
don't know why I
down.
don't write them down.
So, like per usual, guys, with our special guest, we always
Oh, it's
end.
been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Who was the last guest?
Andy and Marley.
Andy and Marley,
That was
probably.
in February.
Yeah.
That was the
That was-
Valentine's Day
oh, yeah.
episode, and we recorded that in like January.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyways.
No, right before, because I remember that was like
Oh,
a fast
yeah.
turnaround. But yeah,
Man,
it's
it's been a while. But anyways, per usual, guys, with our special guests, we always end with these two special questions.
We do.
I'm gonna start off. Which one should we start off with today, guys?
I don't know. Shuffle it. Shuffle them in your head.
I'm gonna go with what has been the best and worst advice you've been given.
I was thinking about this the whole day, I swear. The worst advice. I haven't really like. I would say like it was hard for me to choose one because I'm very theoretical, so I tend to not listen to other people when they tell me stuff. When they tell me stuff, I'm always like, "The fuck do you know?" Like But there was this one baseball coach, and I used to be a home run hitter, and he ended up changing the way I grip my bat. He said, "Hey, align these little knuckles." And ever since then, I would strike out majority of my time. And I don't know why I never changed it back. Worst advice.
Why he's not a professional baseball player?
Could have been pro.
Could have been pro. Y yo pues de terco, like I never changed the stuff because that's how he wanted it. But best advice, I think in 2020, I learned about calorie counting. And it was the best thing that I learned in my life because I was always overweight and just wanted to lose weight since like forever, and I was always stuck. And then someone taught me about calorie counting, and that was the best advice I've ever received. Because to this day, I've been fucking counting calories for like to the dot for the last like 4 years. So best advice.
I'm gonna add a side note on that because I just learned this the other day and I was mind blown. I don't know if you guys know this. Did you guys know calories are measured by the food being burned and then how much it weighs? It's the weight of the food when it's burned or melted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't either. So I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about like spiking your glucose and all the things. And the girl was saying like, yeah, like calories, like, yes, they can be trusted, but like you have to like be really careful because in reality, all it is the food heated up or like melted. So like whatever the gram weight is or something like that, something close to that. But
The more you know.
I know.
Paulina
I
facts.
think I'm an expert in calories, but no, I'm not.
I thought I was.
Now I think you are. Now you
No,
have that
no,
piece
no,
of
no.
information.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up for sure.
At least that's how, like, she was explaining that's how they measured the first calories ever. Like, maybe it's changed now with, like, the technology that we have, but, like, that's how it began. Like, that's how they measured, like, oh, this has 100 calories.
Sorry if that was not an answer that you guys were.
Oh no,
explaining.
no! I like hearing everybody's
random
different
shit.
responses because like
Everybody
all
has
our guests have different responses.
It's
I was
never
gonna-
the same.
Yeah. What I do like hearing though is for the most part the people who we invite or they're like entrepreneurs or they're an expert in their sport or they're influencers or whatever. But I think in order for you to be at that level of whatever your profession or whatever it is that you're doing, you never listen. Everyone always has the same response when it comes down to the bad advice. And I feel like that's a trait that like most people who like veer off in something that's not like professional, like you're not a doctor or you're not like, no es una profesión típica.
Yeah.
Most people in like, let's say like podcasters, it's like, well, the worst advice I never listened to because I don't listen to nobody else or I don't like listening to bad advice or I'm not that type of person. So it's always funny how like it's been like a common theme with everybody who I know that's pretty successful is like, well, I don't listen to that shit because no one gives it. If it is bad advice, I'm not going to take it. So it's been a pretty common thing. And it's pretty funny, like listening to
That,
everybody.
or it's like, don't follow your, like,
or don't follow
your daydream or like your
Yeah,
passion.
yeah.
Like, it's always like something along the lines
Yeah.
of like, stay in school and like,
Yeah.
don't quit your job. Like,
Yeah.
things like that, no?
Yeah. And then lastly, it's if you could go back in time and have a conversation with younger you, what age would you go back to and what would you say?
It'd probably be when I was 16. That's when I started thinking about college and starting getting this just specific like mindset that college is needed, university, blah, blah, blah. So for me, it was just a lot of my ambitions and goals got kind of drifted away because of the whole college talk or whatever. So I would go back to 16 and tell myself, because I wanted to be a chef, so I wanted to go to cooking school, but then people started introducing me to college and the importance of it or whatever. So I would go back to 16 and tell myself, apply for that culinary school that you were going to apply to. So my wife right now is actually telling me, can you go to culinary school? So I'm like, I might just start culinary school this year.
Interesting.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Shit.
That is cool. What would you? What kind of culinary? Like, what would you go into?
I don't even know.
No.
I think I would want to travel around the world and
Yeah.
just try to see what things I could pick up, and then just combine it into my own thing or whatever.
Love that.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see.
We got the future Anthony Bourdain on the couch too.
Would you ever go back to your counseling?
Yeah. Actually, I want to open up my own agency. What we do, we usually pair up our clients. We give them advice on what agencies are around that provide them with services needed for them to reach their goals. And so we pair those clients up with the agencies that we fund. So I want to open up my own agency where Regional Center pays my company to be able to provide services. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. But going back to the actual job itself, I think the only way I would go back is if I become a program manager. I'd be comfortable leading and stuff, but ultimately I want to get my own agency and just make a mark in the community. I just fell in love with the whole community, and the clients that I would work with were all with Mexican parents. So it was just really hard to see how hard they had it, because a lot of them were undocumented. A lot of them were single parents, mothers. The fathers would leave them. So having a kid with a disability sometimes I know is like a really hard task. So I really just want to get back to getting my own agency and helping out those families.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. You're a nice person.
Yeah. Not what I expected this podcast.
I mean, more in the sense because you know how you're like, I can't shit talk like that. And I'm like, I could see it. Like, your
but
heart
sometimes
is just
and
so
sometimes
good.
it's hard for me to shit talk too, because I don't want to say a lot of bad words, and then the families that I used to help be like, "¿Qué está diciendo este?"
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, but now I'm in a separate world. So
Yeah, it is a whole separate world. But
So-
the fact that you still think about that, you know, just goes to show like.
Well, you just
there's a
never
good
know.
heart
Like,
there.
I mean, all this stays online.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You just never know what's gonna come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
That's why I
Facts.
quit my job. But honestly, it was a pleasure having you on the podcast.
Thank you,
guys.
It was really nice meeting you, and the whole coincidence. It was really nice eavesdropping on your conversation.
It was.
Because I mean, it was something that I never knew. Like, power slapping was the whole thing. Was just when you were talking to me in the sauna, I was like, God damn, what is this shit? Like, I was still trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a natural sport. And I was like, Dana White, UFC,
Yeah.
slapping, what the hell, in my gym?
And I think I actually told you, because I was like, people start thinking about when they hear power slap, they're always just like, oh, the slapping videos or whatever, like what you saw on TikTok. But I'm always like trying to emphasize, there's only 2 seasons. So if you watch the first 2 seasons, you're going to get acquainted with the slappers, and
Yeah.
you're going to learn the story of power slap. You're going to learn everything so quick. It's not just about the slaps. Like, some of these slappers have stories. Some of these slappers have gone through some massive slaps, gotten knocked out, some of them. Like, it's really, really cool. Like, it's not just slapping each other and that's
Yeah.
it. Like, it's
Yeah,
so
and
much-
I feel like, I mean, we'll definitely do like a run back. I feel like I say that with a lot of our guests, because I feel like there was still a lot that was left
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of it, in reality, the first episode is, you know, let's get to know you a little bit more, like what you're doing, your background and stuff like that. But there is a lot more to the sport and what you guys go through. Because there's a whole science to it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was like you guys went into your first season. You went in, you were probably learning all the rules. And how to stand, like everything. It's just like everything in a nutshell is
Yeah.
just overwhelming to
Yeah.
like learn. And to put that into like an hour and a half, 2 hour podcast, like we could be here another 2 hours for sure.
Definitely.
So-
then Jesus would hate us.
Yeah, and then Jesus would hate me when he's editing. But honestly, it was a great pleasure. Thank you so much for,
Thank you,
for
guys.
stepping on the podcast. We'll
Yeah.
definitely run it back again.
We will.
Um,
After he will win on April 12th.
after
Yeah.
he slaps the shit out of AJ.
yeah.
Anything you want to shout out where people can find you?
Just Azael El Perro Rodriguez. If you just type it up on Instagram, that's my main platform. You could also find me on TikTok. YouTube, I'm still working on it. There's like under construction right now, but you could also find me as Azael. Or no, La Casa del Perro now. I just changed it to La
Nice.
Casa del
Sick.
Perro. Yeah.
¿Dónde están perros?
That's another song.
It's your other walkout song.
There you go.
We'll tag you and
Yeah.
everything.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, of course, guys. Like everything, we'll leave everything linked down below. Of course, we're gonna tag them. We're gonna make that clip so we can shit talk to AJ. And April 12th, guys, make sure to tune in.
It's a download Rumble.
When does this come out? It's not April 12th, right?
No, this would come out.
It would be
the
next
week before.
Tuesday, right?
Yeah, next Tuesday.
It's
so
the
The
weeks
first,
before.
April 2nd. So a week before. Week after. Yeah, week before.
yeah.
We'll have a watching party. We'll see where we can stream it.
We gotta download Rumble though.
Yeah.
That wasn't an ad. I just remembered he said that. I don't want to forget.
We're not getting paid.
You can just bleep it out, okay?
But for real, honestly, it was a great pleasure. Thank you so
guys.
much. Anything else before we leave, guys?
No, thank
No?
you.
Shout out everything.
Thank you
out?
guys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We'll make the slap clip after.
Yeah.
Glad you
Slap
guys
the
met
shit
in
out
the
of Jesus.
sauna and
For real, and
Mario's
not
a
slapping.
chismoso.
Nigga, I'm really glad I didn't
I
piss
know,
him
and
off.
I was
Getting slapped in the sauna.
Imagine him like, who is this motherfucker looking at my phone?
But anyways, guys, como siempre, live your best life, fight your fears. At the end of the day, the only thing that you regret are the things that you did not do. So vive con huevos, guys. We love you. We out of here. Peace.
Bye.
Live with eggs.